me like a space brain one more time tonight. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Welcome to the jungle. I just bring you to your knees. Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? I wanna go. I wanna know. Oh, won't you please take me home, baby?
It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It is time for the Greg Cherry Show. Joining me from the airport, it's Jeff Meacham, and I'm, of course, the longest reigning WTC champion in the history of the universe, Greg Cherry. Thank you all for joining us. Appreciate you all, and we will be talking about quite a bit of stuff. It's been a big week. It's been a big news day, so we get to cover that. Rather unfortunately, but we get to cover that. But Monday night was a good night for yours truly, and
Yes,
Big
sir.
G will be joining us shortly also to talk about that. But before we get into all that, you know, Brett Storm
Doing Brett Storm things.
Yes, Brett Storm doing Brett Storm things. Brett, do you have 20 friends that do the same thing? No,
Okay.
Appreciate you, Brett.
We can be sponsored forever.
Pretty much. The Greg Cherry Show is sponsored by Brett Storm.
Brett Storm and his friends.
That's half a true story. All right, we're going to get this on the screen here.
There we go.
Because Brett has donated, and you can do the same at that link that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You can do it in the link that is in the comments of wherever you're watching, and it should also be in the description of the video. Lots of places.
That's right. Wash your hands. That's right. Listen to the lady at the airport.
Yes.
We're gonna hit out through the full hour, guys. Sorry in advance. I'll try to mute the mic when I can.
There you go. But we are going to get this spin. What is it going to be? Am I going to be working out, or am I going to be able to relax a little bit? We'll see. So, Brett, here's your spin.
I was going to have my name be Jeff. He needs to use the restroom quickly. Meacham. That way he can do a workout trying to get to the bathroom on time. Did it get there?
Just barely.
It did.
Just
nice.
barely.
Here we go. Of course,
so Brett,
that's almost dangerous for us. It's dangerous for him. So,
yeah, you get to ask us any question that you want. Does not have to be wrestling related at all, and we have to be completely honest about it. It almost landed on bankrupt, which I would have felt terrible for.
Yes.
But joining us right now, who also had a very good Monday. It's Big Baller G. Big Baller G, welcome to the show. It's been a bit.
Yes, it has been. The past couple Wednesdays, I've been closing a lot at work, and I feel like this week or today and tomorrow I'll be able to do today's show and the review.
Kitty invasion.
I see a kitty.
There goes Kitty. So other than that, I'm doing good. Doing really good.
So Brett asks a very important question to tell me a Shane McMahon match that I hate.
There you go.
Just you, or the collective of us.
All three of us can answer.
Okay.
That's hard because I
I
don't.
was going to say I
I
got to
don't
think
hate
about that
Shane
one.
McMahon
So.
matches.
No.
Um,
You know what? I actually had to look up his match thing because I can't think of one I have on my head, to be honest with you. You know what?
yeah, I'm gonna count this one because it was technically a match. Do you remember the episode of Raw where Vince McMahon drugged Shawn Michaels
Yep.
and they had those matches against him? I'll count that because it wasn't really a match, so it's my out.
Oh, you mean when he was feuding, when Sean was feuding with Shane?
When Shawn was feuding with Vince.
With Vince, yeah.
Right, yeah, I remember that now.
So,
In the whole God thing. Oh my God.
You're right. So I'm going to take an even cheaper out than that. During the whole Lashley Vince feud, Shane was part of those matches where Vince became ECW champion. That wasn't Shane's fault, but he's in the match. But I'll definitely say those.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Those are the horrible travesty of everything. His match with Strowman was what it was. I mean, he still did Shane McMahon things, but that whole feud was just immensely stupid.
We're not basing it off feuds though. It's just a match.
Okay, just the match. Okay, let's see here.
Because there have been Shane feuds that I haven't cared for, but the matches Shane McMahon and Shane McMahon. So
right.
So there's a big difference.
I mean, like I said, there's not a whole lot of bad, unfortunately for Brett Storm's answer here.
Well, it's a good question because
it is a good question.
It makes you think, and it also I think strengthens my point that Shane McMahon is one of the best in-ring performers of all time.
Yeah,
which a lot of people will criticize. I guarantee you, like if I said something like that on a bigger platform, I would be criticized to shit about that.
Right.
But Shane McMahon, for not being a fully trained wrestler per se, is an amazing performer.
Yeah,
very true. Just again, like I said, the cheap out is Shawn versus Shawn and God versus Vince and Shane. That was just a horrid match. The commentary is the only thing that really saved that, honestly.
It was more of an angle than anything.
Yeah. Right, but if we're talking about the match execution was so bad. It was just funny because JR, the winners are the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit squad. That was just a great call. So
I cringed when that was said.
Right,
it was just
so blasphemous.
Oh,
I really
so bad.
I'm not a God guy. We all know that, but I was just like, no, Vince, that's a bad Vince.
Yeah.
Very much so.
That PA bitch is loud. Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry.
No, not a problem. So since we talked about that, we are going to talk about some football.
Oh yeah, football.
I know you didn't have a great week, Jeff, because the Cardinals beat the Cowboys, but Big G and I had a very emotional Monday.
Yes, we did.
As the Steelers defeated the Cleveland Browns at home, giving Big Ben essentially a walk-off for his career.
Yeah.
As far as his home career at Heinz Field, because even if they do make the playoffs, they're going to be at the 7th seed, so they won't be at home at all.
No.
But they're going to Baltimore, and they've had some trouble on the road, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But man, what a fantastic night. TJ Watt, 4 sacks
yeah.
on Baker Mayfield. And
9 sacks total.
Yeah. 9 sacks total for the team.
Is that an NFL record?
9 sacks in the game? No. I've seen games that have had 12 or 13.
Wow.
So, but nine's a pretty solid total for one game.
Yeah.
Hey, G.
Yeah.
Do you think Myles Garrett's going to win Defensive Player of the Year?
God, if he does, there's something wrong with NFL.
Seriously. I don't understand. I get the hype behind Micah Parsons, okay? I get that. But man, if it's either he was TJ Watt wins Defensive Player of the Year or Defensive MVP. One of the two. Which I don't know what the difference is, honestly.
Yeah.
If you're the MVP, shouldn't those two kind of go hand in hand?
Right. Yeah. I mean, TJ Watt is like number one in a lot of categories again this year.
That didn't matter last year.
I know it didn't because
He led in like every single category except one, and the one category that he was behind in was the category that Aaron Donald led him in, and that's what it's like. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
I don't think Donald's anywhere close this year.
No. Well, and TJ Watt is on. He could. Well, hopefully he can gain or beat Michael Strahan's record next week. He's he's one away from tying and one and a half from breaking it.
Yep.
So
which is
that part about the record being possibly broken is that we'll get Michael Strahan on TV for the fourth time that week.
Right.
Well, he still does live, doesn't he?
So he's on every damn thing now. He's on live, I think, with Kelly. I think they're still a pair. Or, he may be part of it. I think he left. No, it's her and Ryan Seacrest now.
Oh,
so Michael's doing other stuff. I think he does like a different morning show, but he's also on NFL Sunday on Fox. He also is on like 4 other things. It's like he's become the Ryan Seacrest of sports. He's on every damn thing.
So, he hosts Pyramid too whenever that's going on.
Whenever that's on again, yeah, so.
Yeah.
Chris, we got your question in both chat rooms, so we will get to it during the Q&A section, my friend.
Yeah, we're not ignoring you. It's where we talk about stuff and we go off into the weeds on the show. It's
right. And I mean, Ben's had. I mean, we know this is Ben's last hurrah. He's had 8. He's the only quarterback that I can think of that's been with one team for 18 seasons.
He is.
Because
it would have been Brady, but he went to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, the man's he's a beast. He's gone through so much. I think he's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL too.
He is. It's a dubious record, but
it's like 500. It was like I think 560 something. They showed it too on TV. I was like, holy crap! But that's due to the offensive line throughout the years.
Hey, you know what? I will give the offensive line credit this game.
Yes.
They let a couple sacks through.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's bound to happen.
Did Najee Harris eat on Monday night? Holy crap.
Yeah, he did. He broke Franco Harris's rookie season record.
He did. Still got another game to go.
Yeah. But yeah, and Ben getting that last snap on downs. I think he thought it was he thought his last snap was when he gave it to Harris to run for that touchdown.
So did I. And then the Steelers picked Mason or not Mason. Baker Mayfield off again.
Yeah.
Might as well be Mason.
And I mean we have a good chance of winning on Sunday against the Ravens. But if we win, we still need help. We need the Colts to lose at Jacksonville, and I've heard that the Colts haven't beat Jacksonville since like 2014 or something.
Yep.
And then the last game of the season, Chargers and Raiders cannot end in a tie.
The tie, like that's not even the one I'm worried about. If that one goes to overtime, that's when I'll be concerned. But I don't think the Chargers and the Raiders.
I'm just worried about the Colts and the Jags.
Yeah. So
I'm sure once our game, I'm not too sure because they're both 1:00 games.
Yeah.
But for instance, remember how a couple years ago our game ended early and they went on the Titantron to the other game where we needed help. And when I think it was when Cleveland played the Ravens and we needed Cleveland to win and Ravens won. So
we should never have to rely on Cleveland for anything.
No, not anymore. No.
If we're being completely honest. Like, never rely on the Browns or the Steelers in any facet whatsoever.
So, but yeah, I mean, one hell of a career. I mean, all the other teams are doing good, and I mean, they were some good games. What did we talked about this yesterday on the sports bar? What did you think about AB walking off?
I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I'm really not. I feel like, and some people like criticize other people for saying this. I really think the perfect hit messed him up a lot.
Right.
Like I know he's always been kind of like a a diva as far as how he plays and whatnot. But I still don't like the hit he took. He took a freaking Bad News Barrett bullhammer to the helmet.
Yeah.
And it knocked him for a loop. Like,
yeah. And then, like, also, you think about it when Juju stepped in, you know, he wasn't really, I mean, Juju kind of took over his role, and he was all because he was always protected, or not protected, but being defended by players, so he was never open.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're the number one player on the team, you're going to get double teamed a lot. Yeah. And that's what happened. Juju was open more, so he got more production. And that upset Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown is not a team player.
No.
He's not.
No.
He's always out for himself.
Yep.
And it's just frustrating.
It is. It is. I'm you know what? I'm happy. I was able to go to a home game this year against Seattle to see Ben play for that. Well, for me, first and last time. So
yeah, I almost Jen and I almost got tickets to go down. Kind of wish we would have, especially with how the game turned out.
Actually, no, that's a lie. I want to say I did see him play in the 2004 Pro Bowl back in Hawaii. When
I am happy to say I've seen Ben play. I've seen him play a couple times, but one of the times I saw him play was a Monday night game against the Ravens during their Super Bowl winning season. So that's cool.
Nice.
I think that was a Jeff Reed walk-off field goal or something.
Oh, jeez, Jeff Reed.
Hey, listen, Jeff Reed's got Super Bowl.
You know who I feel is the underrated player in the Steelers right now? Boswell.
Boswell is on another level. Dude, he's hit more 50-yard field goals than anybody in that state. Like, I think there were only four field goals made over 50 yards, and Boswell has 14 now.
Yep.
Which is insane in Heinz Field.
Yep. Especially if you kick on
got another one Monday.
But yeah.
But I
did get a little emotional on Monday night after the game.
Oh, I did.
Especially when Ben was making his rounds around, that one.
You figure when I was still in high school, Ben Roethlisberger was the quarterback. Like, he just started being the quarterback.
Right.
And my freshman year of college is when they won their first Super Bowl.
Right.
So,
right.
It's just hard to believe that, like, Ben Roethlisberger has been the quarterback of the Steelers half of my life.
Right. That's like for everybody. That's so crazy. I mean, he, like he said, Pittsburgh is everything to him. I mean, he said it right. Steeler fans are the best fans in any sports.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's his opinion, but
I mean, I'm probably biased, but I agree. I mean, we have some great fans. Now, don't get me wrong. There's shitty fans in every fan base.
Yeah.
If we're going to be completely honest, there are terrible people. If you just watch some of these YouTube videos about fans getting into fights, and it's like the dumbest thing. Like, 9 times out of 10 they're drunk, but
yeah, true.
It's so stupid. It's like, act like adults, man. Like, yeah, the game is an emotional game, but, like, relax, go home, get laid, do something. Watch XMV. Oh, sorry.
Get drunk, get laid. Get drunk, do whatever. Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, it's whatever that is.
If you know, you know. If you don't, we're not going to see it because we can't air that stuff because we'll get thrown off the air. So,
yeah, if you don't, it stopped right after Ben Roethlisberger won his first Super Bowl. That's how long ago it was.
That's how old that shit is. Yeah.
My goodness.
Yes, I'm old. Shut up, people. I don't care.
We all are.
That's
fine. Okay. So now that we covered that, I do want to talk about something else, and I think you have the graphic in here, Jeff. Yes, you do.
Oh, I do.
Next Thursday. So anybody watching, if anybody wants to get in on this will be fun.
Which I did plug on the show yesterday. If you want to get in, and then I talked about it Monday about maybe doing the money thing like we talked about.
I haven't decided about that. I don't feel like we have enough,
like
people who would donate money to do this. So I think I'm just going to do it. if you're here, you're here. You get numbers, and we'll figure it out. But we're going to do the Royal Rumble numbers draw because nobody's got to throw a fit about it this year. And as a Christmas present, I don't know if you saw this. It's in my background, but I don't know if you saw this.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Look at that. All right, we got a tumbler and everything.
We got the tumbler.
Fancy Wancy.
Yay!
Yeah.
So I'm going to be turning this thing a whole bunch and probably greasing it because it squeaks. But it's going to be a good time. Oh.
Ba-dum-dum.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. Harley, what's
Oh,
wrong?
wait, no, sorry, wrong commercial.
Huh?
Wrong commercial. I said I'm loving it. So, before we move on to the breaking news within wrestling, I have breaking news from the home front, where I'm going actually after we get off the air here. Miss Bailey's mom is now at 70% of millionaires for the full 100. She's better. She's acknowledging. They're feeding her in a tube. With this, everything's getting better. So thank God for that.
Well, that's good.
All y'all that watch, if you're watching on my network, thank you for the prayer chain. Thank you for everything and for sending the prayers your way. It means the world. I know, like I said, I'm not always a big guy. I even said that on when I put my original post up about her. But thank you all on behalf of Bailey and her family and our friends, and just thank you.
Yeah, we know how much Bailey's been watching your stuff for the longest time. She's occasionally popped in on
Yes.
the show. But glad to hear that.
Yes.
So let's talk about the releases that happened today.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, here we go.
Because
Rest in peace, Black and Gold.
Yeah, I mean the black and gold is. We thought it was very symbolic that Braun Breaker kicked through the X on NXT last night, but little did we know how much true meaning that would end up having, since we have now lost the Road Dogg, who was a producer in NXT.
Yep.
We have now lost William Regal, which I don't understand. That one felt like to me.
That's
We
obscene.
lost a few others. I haven't seen
a couple of wrestlers, Thatcher.
Yeah, Thatcher, which, if you've been watching a while like I have, Thatcher is just like, he's got a great attitude about the business, and he's a tough mucker futher, but what were they doing with him after the whole pit thing? Not a damn.
Yeah, true. Birch was not doing anything.
Lork, his partner's been gone. What's the point of keeping him around? I mean, I like both, but if you're going to release Lorcan and not Birch, what the fuck are you going to do with Birch?
I would have put Birch back in NXT UK. Oh, gee, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, the fact is, the main NXT guys are now over here, Walter and Imperium. So it's, and Kaylee Ray's also working here now. So it's, you know.
Scott Armstrong is gone as well.
Yeah. Did they release Scott? Oh, no.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're an Armstrong, you're gone.
That's right. Unless you're Brad or Bullet, then you've been done for a while. God love those guys. But
that's not even right, Jeff. Come on.
I know.
That's
that's important. I'm trying to make the because I'm so pissed off at that company for freaking.
Don't use it at the expense of people that are dead, Jeff.
You know who was really smart about this? Was Scotty Too Hotty. He asked.
Oh yeah.
He probably knew it was coming.
Right.
He saw the writing on the wall.
That's it. And he wormed his way out of the company.
Moonwalked his way right out.
That's it. Okay, because I got trouble, I won't joke about Brian then, because he's But it's Road Dogg has been a kind of a polarizing personality without question especially the last few years when he's been SmackDown's head writer and doing what he's doing now. But how do you get rid of William Regal? I mean, even if he's not the on-character guy he is still arguably the greatest scout in the history of that company, not named Pat Patterson. I mean, really.
Right.
How do you get rid of William Regal?
Remember, now they have this Vince came up with this next in line thing or whatever with these athletes. With sport people who probably don't have any wrestling background with them. And so he's like, all right, I don't need any scouts anymore because I'm not getting any indie people anymore because Triple H isn't running it anymore.
I don't mind necessarily.
Why do I need a scout to go out and scout people if he's got all these athletes that are next in line, apparently? Like this Gable Stevenson guy or whatever the frick his name is. Didn't they draft him on Raw and like he's just been sitting in the audience? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I
mean,
think
he won an Olympic gold medal.
I was gonna say he didn't
Yeah.
have a broken freaking neck or anything, but he still won
No,
the
he
Olympic
didn't
gold
have
medal
the
this
broken
year.
freaking
So
neck, so he
but
doesn't
he's,
have
Yeah.
he's still the gold medalist for this country, which in
Right.
wrestling is few and far between. I mean, if you got Kurt, you got Gable,
Right.
and the guy in the middle. I forget the guy after Kurt. The name is not happening right now in my head.
I'm not
Roland
saying
Gardner.
it's bad
Roland
or
Gardner.
anything
Roland
like that, but
But
if-
yeah, and the thing is, yeah, they signed Gable, but the worst thing they could do is put him straight to TV because he's a great wrestler, obviously, but he's not a trained sports entertainer.
correct.
That's the difference. And
Correct.
Kurt picking it up as quickly as Kurt did, Kurt Angle is a once in a lifetime person. You know,
Right.
he always will be. And the fact is, yes, he's retired, yes, he's beat up, but you know what? He's still got that twinkle in his eye. I saw it on the cruise. He still
Right.
wants to be Kurt Angle guy on television, one way or the other. So
Right.
Gable's not in that. He's an athlete. He's a freaking stud. This kid.
Right.
But he's not sports entertainment ready. And the
Right.
last thing you want to do is, here, go on TV, do the Goldberg thing. Let's see how that works out for you, buddy. No. And oh, by the way, somebody was giving me crap last night on Talk Wrestling about criticizing Goldberg. It's like, you know what? I will never denounce Bill's athletic ability. He played in the NFL. He played at Georgia, which for the love of God, I hope Georgia wins this week. Oh my God.
We'll
Stupid
get to
Alabama.
that.
Stupid Alabama. Sorry, Conrad. I love you, but shoot down Tide. Anyway, not Roll Tide anymore.
Yeah, that phrase is not allowed to be said on the show.
Yeah,
multiple reasons.
Goldberg is a great athlete. He was, whether he still is controversial, right, Undertaker? But the fact is, and JJ had a great comment. He was fine as long as he didn't have the big gold belt around his waist. The minute they put the belt on him, he was exposed because he was on TV every week, every night, both shows,
Right.
and they couldn't hide the negatives and overactivate for the positives because he was just out there all the time.
Right.
They don't want to do that with Gable. He, again, great athlete, but you don't want to get a guy on the TV too quick and lose your investment for the sake of the pop because you don't need the pop anymore. The ratings don't matter.
No.
They really don't.
Yeah.
So-
Like I said, I wasn't saying it was a bad thing that he's not,
No.
but like you have this next in line formula going on. So like I said, what's the point of having William Regal there anymore?
Yeah.
If you're
I
not
don't
gonna scout
disagree
anybody?
with having the athletes come in from that. I mean, if they're a fan enough and they want to go through the training and they want to do the thing, cool. But like you said, don't completely eliminate the scout process because then you lose people who like Regal, like Brian Armstrong, like Scotty, get disillusioned or feel like their years, decades in mean diddly, and it's just not the case. As far as we're concerned, the thing. And again,
Right.
I tried to find the line. I know I'm taking over Greg's show here, but I really feel passionate about this. We, the fans, have come to expect that our opinion really matters within the offices.
But it doesn't.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that as far as hiring people to scout, to do anything, but our opinion matters as far as we react to person A versus person B in a match on TV, and they go around that. Somebody asked me last night on Talk Wrestling, why does WWE expect The Rock to come back if the insurance companies and the studios will let him? It's like WWE doesn't expect anything. The WWE universe expects it, and that's a problem.
Yeah. And we saw last night, the cruiserweight division's been dead for a while now, but 205 Live is going to be gone within the week or so.
Right.
Everything that don't get me wrong, we had the best years of NXT from 2013 up until late 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And everybody that was there was mostly indie guys. And Vince wants homegrown talent now. He wants you can tell NXT 2.0 is very, very sports entertainment like now.
Which I don't necessarily disagree with having that homegrown thing because, and again, Greg pointed this out to me, whatever the hell time I was on last. Like my schedule's so jumbled now. Marina Shafir is now working casually for AEW.
Right.
I don't know what Roddy's contract is, but don't be surprised surprised if he shows up to work along the wifey. And again, Greg's throwing it up there. The other three are over there now. Can you imagine if they get this some sort of, and again, I'm projecting way in the future and wanting what I want to say. Why not have Marina Shafir become Britt Baker's muscle? And that way you get Adam Cole and Roddy Strong's ladies together also. I mean, riding partners are a beautiful thing. If you can ride with your wife from town to town, you'll stay out of trouble. She'll stay out of trouble, and you get to spend time with your significant other. That's money. Personally,
I want to throw something out to you guys, and this is just theoretical. There's something behind it, but do you guys feel like that AEW is now the number one place to go for independent talent? Because based on the fact that WWE is doing this NIL thing,
right?
It feels like independent talent don't really have a place in WWE anymore.
No.
I feel like they want to churn out the people in their system, which if it works for them, fantastic. Right. But that's the positive of having an alternative in AEW, in like a New Japan,
Impact,
Impact,
the NWA,
Ring of Honor when they come back.
Right.
Yeah. It's a nice thing to have people to go somewhere.
Right.
Because if independent talent is not going to go to WWE, you have to funnel all that through AEW or Ring of Honor or New Japan or Impact.
Yeah.
Because WWE is basically closed off the door, and it's basically
they've closed the forbidden door.
I was gonna say they don't only close the forbidden door, they put a padlock on that shit, Hell in a Cell style. Whereas AEW and the other companies are like, hey, come work for us, and you can go there and you go there. And again, Greg and I talked about this. I think you and I talked about this. The whole thing with Crockett and Vern Gagne back in the 80s didn't work because Crockett was out for Crockett, Vern was out for Vern. These companies seem to be out for bettering the business as a whole, which is very refreshing.
Right.
And, the fact that we had Christian Cage and AW Contract Star be the Impact World Champion, the fact that we have Mickie James, an executive producer for the NWA, defending the Knockout Championship Saturday against the greatest Knockout champion in recent memory, Deonna Purrazzo, in a Texas death match, that forbidden door is a revolving or a double door that swings open easily, and I'm here for it. I really am.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think it's going to be. I think that match is going to be a blast because I really enjoyed the Deonna and Mickie feud.
I can't wait for Noah to call it with me there. I can't wait.
I'm not sure if putting the title on Mickie to begin with was a good idea, unless they're giving the title back to Deonna during the Texas death match.
Which, again, they had Taya be champion for so long. Yes. And then they had Deonna do the exact same thing and eclipse her. It's like somebody had to put Shink in the armor. And the wrestling fandom loves Mickie James so much. Of course, you're talking now. I'm trying to make a point, bitch.
Don't you hate that?
I really do. The wrestling fandom adores Mickie James so much that they were like, yes, we accept this. But with the thought of, okay, we know Deonna's going to get it back. She attacked Mickie at NWA, whatever, 73 or the one after that. Made a point, hey, I'm still here, bitch. So,
right.
Now we're going to get this fight between these two incredible women's wrestlers. And then you got the Ultimate X match for the first time amongst the women, which is going to be something extraordinary to see. So all the other companies seem to be doing their thing. And again, I'm not begrudging Vince, Bruce Pritchard. If they want to close off and cultivate their own, cool.
Yeah.
Just cultivate them long enough where they're a full-grown tree and not a freaking little shrub thrown out there for fodder.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Right.
So
Jeff the metaphor meeting today, apparently. So there you go.
Yeah. So let's briefly talk about the Royal Rumble because that is coming up.
Yeah.
We got the news that Johnny Knoxville is going to be a participant in this year's Royal Rumble match.
God, that man is so freaking old.
But you know what? If he is going to take like a crazy over the top rope bump, which is probably the only reason he's in it.
Consider Tony Jackass the movie. I mean,
yeah.
Jackass Forever, which how it goes on forever with these guys staying intact. I don't know how they do it at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Royal Rumble match will be a blast. I'm going to drop out very briefly so you two can talk about the Rumble and keep talking about it till I come back.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because I have a dog who's whining. I know
Somebody has to go UT.
Yeah.
Very good.
So talk about the Rumble. Ready to go.
That's okay. So does good old JM. He's had the piece since he left like Santa Clarita, but had to be on the air. So by the way, we actually have 3 Jeffs on right now. So for the record,
Done. There you go.
There you go. My sister went and saw him and saw him out in Ontario. They had so much fun. Yeah, I actually, again, I like the idea we're doing the Rumble draw on Greg's channel and moving it to my channel instead of doing the no DQ thing. I'm not, no DQ. We always had fun doing it on there, but like he's got the tumbler. The Rumble is very much becoming my favorite time of the year more than Mania because the Rumble it's unpredictable and it starts the road to WrestleMania. And Greg has always loved it so much. I've always had fun watching it with friends at houses or I flew all the way to freaking Pennsylvania to watch the Rumble, which wasn't even in Pennsylvania. Just watch it with Greg. So
and it's funny. I think I might have told you guys this, but my first pay-per-view was the '99 Rumble at a friend's house.
See, and Aaron was actually in that Rumble. In the Rumble, yeah, he was in the match. He is that insane. But no, he actually, again, if you watch where Austin and Vince are walking up the aisle, they're going toward the ladies' room. He's in that shot. You can see him.
I remember that. I remember
his face
him
has not
pointing
changed
it out.
much. You can still see little teenager Aaron Riff, but he's there.
Right. I mean, and the Rumble doesn't seem to disappoint. I mean, yeah, we've had a few, but
the anticipation's almost always good for the Royal Rumble.
Right.
The matches almost always deliver.
Colleen, who's not a big wrestling fan, she enjoys the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
because the anticipation, pretty much of who's going to come out next.
Right. It's one of those where and Dan and I were talking about this though, and I'll make sure we get Greg when he comes back. I don't think they have 30 main roster women right now in WWE.
I don't think so. With everybody they cut,
you figure with Sasha Banks not down. I think if Sasha is hurt like out for a minute, they have 8 contracted women on the SmackDown roster now after releasing Tony Storm leaving.
Right, and Bayley's
not too much more of a number on Raw. So they're calling people up. They're going to have a lot of legends fill those.
A lot of legends. You know what? We could be getting Asuka coming back,
which would be. And again, people ask me about Asuka. How do you book her coming back? It's like I don't know.
At the Rumble, it has to be.
That's the only thing I can do because they've completely. I mean. And again, this isn't Matt's fault necessarily, but the whole thing with Riddle where he just walked off and she was like the fuck face, like that totally, like you haven't seen her since.
Yeah, I think she was dealing with an injury too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she I think it was her elbow or arm somewhere there, and she was, and they're working through it. I mean, Carmella's working through an injury right now because she didn't tag into the match Monday night. So it's one of those. I
mean, I'm sure you'll have NXT surprises. I mean, they don't have a lot of women down there either.
No.
Anymore. It's so sad. Like to think, a couple years ago they had the women's evolution.
Mm-hmm.
They had all these talented women, and here we are 3 years later.
Yep, just over 3, and we're trying to think how are they going to pull this off?
Right? I mean, they made this whole big deal about having the women's Royal Rumble, the women's tag titles,
women's Money in the Bank, women's Elimination Chamber, women's Hell in a Cell. It's like.
But anyways, the Rumble should be fun this year. I mean, we already got a couple matches announced.
It's on a Saturday, which is different.
On a Saturday, which is nice.
But it's cool because people like in the UK that don't necessarily work on Sundays, like Brett's talking about in the chat room there. He can always watch it at a friend's house if the COVID restrictions are enough where he can go to a buddy's house, or which is if Rumble's on Sundays and people work Monday, that's tough, especially over there.
And that would and sometimes that would be. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad because I mean I'd work at like 7:00 on Monday and I'd still be fine. Get a couple hours of sleep here and there, but
because you're a Vince McMahon, you're a cyborg, you can get up and go the next day. Yeah. If I did that in the UK, I'd be dragging what's left of me to work.
Lacey Evans, but
Lacey. I mean, you see her on social media. She's training. She's looking better every time. So Lacey being there wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. It really wouldn't surprise me if she was involved. Again, if Sasha's not injured, just hurt, she'll probably work through it. Same with Carmella. So, but again, Greg, we were talking about it before you came back in, with Tony gone and Sasha hurt, not hurt, whatever,
Yeah.
They're down to like 8 or 9 people on SmackDown women's wise, and the number isn't too much bigger Monday Night Raw. So they're trying, like G was just saying, the women's evolution maybe was just over 3 years ago, and we were talking about how stacked the roster was on that show alone. Now we're sitting here in 2022 Rumble going, how are they going to fill those spots? What are they going to do? That's very indicative of how bad it is.
Alexa's coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
Bailey might be coming back.
I think Gracie L's still not ready for Rumble. She's just trying to stay social media character, so she stays, out there.
Well,
I don't know. A mucker for the dude, so I'm not sure.
She could be like a late entry and make it through.
Yeah. And like I said, if Sasha's working through an injury, she could do that. Carmella's working through an injury, she could do that. Miz and Maurice Miz and Maurice. Okay, let's try this again. Maurice and Beth could also do that if they want to extend this. But I don't. Again, we talk about this on my shows all week. Do they extend that feud past the Rumble? Hard to say, but if the women are involved, maybe. And then you got two legends that's right there. So
you might have some NXT people. I wouldn't be surprised if Raquel Gonzalez was in the Rumble.
Raquel should be in the Rumble without question in my mind. She should be in the Rumble.
Or Io.
Yeah.
I think Cora should be in. She had a hell of a showing last night. Cora should be in there for sure.
Yeah.
You know who else we haven't mentioned? Asuka.
Yeah, we mentioned Asuka.
We mentioned Asuka while you were gone because, like I said, you weren't there. So, the way they had her last appear was that whole Matt Riddle segment that went completely shithole because of Matt botching forgetting his stuff for real. So, like, we haven't seen Asuka since then, and she's been working through the injury with the elbow, I think, too. So, there's a lot of people that are either injured, maternity leave, the whole thing, where they could really pull it off. Now, the one problem I do have with the Rumble coming up as far as the matches is the Raw Women's Championship. We're either going to get Becky and Liv again, Becky and Bianca again, or we're going to get Becky and Doudrop, which Doudrop's value has just plummeted.
That was a mistake taken from NXT UK.
So, yeah, the minute they changed her name to Doudrop and put her with Eva Marie and then released Eva Marie before they could really do a payoff, it was like,
yeah.
I mean, Doudrop beat Eva like 13 times. So
right, but the whole thing is, and again, I'm trying to figure out how to shit on Eva or Vince's. Why bring her back in the first place? What was the point of that whole thing?
Just to release her.
No, and again, Vince, this man here, I love firing people. It's like, if that's really what that was about, that's disturbing. Like, he needs to go in for some serious psychological counseling if that's the reason they brought her back.
He's an old fart. I'm sorry, but
for the Women's Rumble, they have a little bit more freedom to throw in past names. Like we saw Victoria last year. We saw Mickie James, who really wasn't on WWE TV, obviously. Her this year. We saw Tori Wilson.
Yeah,
we saw.
In the past, you've seen Trish. Trish is always in game shape. You call Trish up, hey, you're the Rumble. She'll freaking throw on the Trish.
I mean, Trish has only been in one Rumble. She was only in the 2018. So
right, but we've all seen Trish stays in game shape every step of the way because she's Trish Stratus and she's just that dedicated. So
she also does she still run her yoga company? Because that would make sense if.
Yeah,
I think she does. But speaking as a parent who doesn't keep his dad bod better than dad bod shape, having 2 kids that small. She's running around like crazy. She's good to go.
And you mean you get Lita too?
You know who I would love? I don't think it'll happen, but do you know who I would love to see as an entrant just one of these years? Stacy Keibler.
Right?
Yeah.
She was at the Hall of Fame a couple years ago, so it's not completely out of the question.
I'm sure we'll see Molly Holly because she's the producer.
Molly's been in a couple times.
Molly's also kind of at
different people though, because we saw Jillian Hall last night. I completely popped for that.
Yeah, Molly,
because Jillian was like the furthest thing from my mind watching that Women's Rumble.
Right,
and when she came out, it was like I lost.
And you want me? I'm like, oh no, we don't, no, that song is just bad. Just turn any other music, please. But you're a great wrestler, so go for it.
So Dakota Kai might be in it again. I don't think Dakota has anything left to do in NXT, honestly.
No, but going back to Stacy, remember, I think Stacy did that more as a favor to Tori than a favor to the business. So right. I'd love to see her too. I always love Stacy. And I'm watching 2002 TV right now, so I really love Stacy right now. But there's no benefit for her. So
she wouldn't have to be in there long just for the nostalgia pop.
Now,
we have a donation from this guy.
This
He
guy.
says Vince doomed his own company these past 2 years with these massive releases, and the past 7 years by only focusing 97% on one guy instead of building up a whole room of guys that guy could work with and making them almost as credible.
Yep. Well,
I mean, you have to wonder, like, now that Brock's WWE champion, if they don't do the title unification match, which is
what I would do.
It's been rumored, but it's consider the source type thing.
Right.
Right.
Here's
I really don't want to see that because then it's like now you only have like one main event guy on both shows.
I saw 2, I don't know if it was tweets, posts, whatever, in the toward the end of the year that really just pinged off my head. I think Denise posted the one of just the women released just this year. You get a whole company.
Right.
And I had somebody reply to me, "Where's Wild?" I'm like, if I had the money. I'm like, seriously, if Travis and I had the money, we'd start Wild up tomorrow and go, okay, we'll take you and you and you and you. But they released 84 people this year, just workers.
Yeah.
84 people. It's just ridiculous how many people lost their jobs. Yet, and again, a lot of them were not the homegrown. They came out of the PC, WWE lifer people.
Right.
So, again, the whole NIL thing comes into your head, but when you release that many people, and again, there's a great point there. When you base your company around one guy, and Roman's been off TV as the guy at least 3 times in that run. 2 for one for leukemia, 1 for COVID now, and 1 because of an injury. Yeah. That's if you have your top guy out 3 times in the span of, let's just say, since he won the Rumble. So 3 times in the course of 7 years for the guy to be out is bad. Bad. When you figure Austin only went out because of the neck injury and still came back, and I dare say did better than he did before he left. Same with, Hogan did not leave until he got fired from the company, or at least whatever you want to call it, in 1983. Shawn only left because the bad back. Brett left because, getting screwed would piss me off. So, just saying.
Right.
The top guy, John Cena. When did John take a legitimate break, except for the pectoral injury? I'll wait over 10 years. He didn't. So when
he was out, he was out with his neck too. Don't forget.
Briefly though, but that was only between SummerSlam and Survivor Series. That was in the same calendar year he came back.
Yeah.
And the Peck thing, he came back too early, but he freaking won the Rumble and ruled that ass. So and to be fair to everybody else, John is a cyborg legitimately. He's made of metal parts at this point because he's been banged up so many times. God bless him. And again, there's people that they release that they could bring back and go, hey, he's back. John Morrison in the chat room, great example there. Does John want to come back? Probably not, because they've pissed on him so many times. I mean, really. And release his wife before they did anything with her.
If all they were going to do with Morrison was put him with The Miz, and they had nothing for him after that, why do it? Yeah, right, Morrison and The Miz had some good moments. I mean, look at their tag team match at WrestleMania. Nobody thought it was going to be great, and then Bad Bunny blew everybody's minds.
Yeah, and yes, that was Bad Bunny's showcase, but the 4 of them all did a great job in that match. So,
right.
And again, Miz and Morrison have all, especially John Morrison, with the way they've booked him with or without Miz, have always been able to turn chicken shit into chicken salad. But there's only so many places you get. It's like, this still tastes like shit. I'm done. Thanks.
Yeah.
So
and they released his
wife, which is like, ask Jerry Lawler about releasing my wife. Like, I'm good. If you're going to fire my wife without doing anything with her, piss up a rope. Thanks. Okay, bye. Yeah. Don't mess with my wife. That's just man code. That's like, do not mess with my girl. Piss on me. Seriously.
Right.
So
I think, now that Johnny Gargano's gone, I think Candice is going to be leaving too when her contract comes up.
It depends where he lands, and I'll say that because if Johnny ends up being on Dynamite, tonight's the rumor he might be one of the judges, which would be an interesting thread. If he ends up in AEW, which is housed primarily in Florida, they're touring again, but they live in Florida. When Candice has the baby, if she even wants to get back in ring shape, I've known Candice a long time, and she's always wanted to be a wrestler, but she's always had that familial maternal thing. She loves her nieces like they're her own. So if she doesn't come back, it would not surprise me one iota. And good on her because she's got her family, and she's such a Disney dork. Now she has a kid to take to Disney World with. He probably may never see her ass again.
Right.
and she'd be okay with that. And as a former friend, I would be okay too, because she's happy.
Right.
So
it makes you wonder, like, what exactly the WWE's plan is for the Women's Rumble.
Yeah,
because again, like you're going to have surprise entrants. You have to.
Yeah.
There's no way around. Like Renee Young might be a surprise entrant because they don't have enough. They never know. I heavily doubt it, considering Mox is with AEW. But
I don't think she wants anything to do with WWE anymore either.
Yeah, but you know what? She's
I don't know about that. I mean, she did the backstage show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and she has she has WWE people on her podcast still. It's not the people in the company; it's the company.
Right.
So will she go back and work one night just to help out her friends pad a match they're involved in, so it doesn't look like complete crap? Maybe. But if it's Vince asking her help me out, she'd probably be like, nah, I'm good. So, but again, and again, she's another one of those. She's out. They moved to freaking, I think, Nashville instead of because Vegas is such a COVID shit show, and that's where I'm going in a couple hours. Yeah, I'm smart. But yeah, I think she's content. I'd love to see Renee just because I love Renee. She's a wonderful person. I got to work with her a couple of times. She's great. But yeah, they need to find. Yeah, this is gonna be one of those where the Men's Rumble, if they don't go unification or if they have Lashley beat Brock, you kind of know where the wind's gonna sway. The Women's is a complete unknown.
Bring back Sable.
That'd be something. Where's Jeff going to walk to the next airport? No, I'm kidding.
You know what? I probably walk through this whole terminal, this entire airport, and be back here by 5. That's how small this place is.
What airport are you at?
Burbank. There's like 10 gates, dude.
Oh,
Burbank.
wow.
I love this place so much. I was telling Greg before you came on, I was in the door through TSA and in my seat. I told him I was leaving Starbucks on the other side of the airport at 3 o'clock. I was in my seat by 3:30.
Wow.
Like, and again, my flight's at 7, but I want to make sure I was somewhere stationary so I could do this. Because if I left after this at 5 o'clock at my house, yeah, I'd be pushing it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the women's is and honestly, other than the fact that they're so depleted, which is why it's an unknown, I like the unknown. I like not knowing what's going to happen.
Right.
On the 29th.
Right. Are they opening Dynamite tonight with the world title again?
We talked about that before you popped in. I don't see a reason to, and I say that because they've done that twice now with Danielson versus the champion.
I would kick it off with the TBS title. I would do that. I'd kick it off with Jaden.
Yeah, if you're on TBS, kick it off with the TBS title.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it. Start the TBS era with their championship.
Okay.
This guy donated again and is asking, how hyped are you guys to finally have Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar one-on-one?
Dude.
And what do you think the chances are that Brock puts Bobby over? You know what?
Don't be surprised if it happens. Yep.
I'm actually thinking Lashley's going to take the title from him. I don't think Brock's going to have a long reign whatsoever because I feel like there's the unfinished business with Roman. So
especially with Paul now, being wishy-washy, flippy-floppy here. So
right.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe you have like the Usos or something interfere and the Hurt Business too. Why not? And cost Brock the title.
Right.
So
I'm looking forward to the interactions. I mean, Paul just completely shut MVP, which was great. I love Montel, but that was a fun interaction. That was awesome. I'm looking forward to
Here's my thing too with the Rumble. Not to cut you off, but
no, please, your show. Shit.
you can't have the title unification match because then what the hell is the point of the Rumble?
Right.
Unless you do like the triple threat that they did at Mania 35 for the women. Like there's no point to the Rumble if you're just going to do a title unification match.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it though. It's been a match that we've been talking about really since Bobby Lashley debuted in like 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Yep. Even though Brock was removed far from the business by then.
Oh yeah, Brock was gone by then.
It was like, God, what if Lashley had showed up a couple of years ago? Wouldn't that have been great? But you know what? it's even better now because both of them are seasoned. Both of them have built up their rep, built up their credibility in the wrestling, and the fans want it so much more now than they did 10 years ago. Or whatever.
Right.
So,
Honestly, I think if they would have done Brock and Bobby Lashley in 2018 when Lashley first returned, I don't know if I would have been as into it, but they have built Lashley into an absolute monster, and I love it. Like, this is the Lashley we have always deserved.
Yeah,
And
that first year or so where they had the whole thing with Sammy, and it was like, really? You brought him back to do this? And then he got
even when he
serious
was still with Leo, like with Leo, I think he was kind of finding his way. But as soon as he got with MVP, like Lashley to the
because he and Pierre are like good buds. I mean, so
But they were together in TNA too, so why not?
Yeah. People forget that he and MVP really paired up in TNA or Impact, whatever the hell they were calling that particular moment of the day.
Beatdown Clan.
Yeah,
Anthem Impact or whatever it was.
Yeah, TNA presents Anthem Impact, brought to you by Access TV, featured on Spike. What the fuck?
Fuck that out.
Brother. Anyway,
you guys missed that.
I didn't. I was just trying to not get too laughing, pee my pants. I still gotta go to the bathroom. But whatever happens, it's gonna be good because I say that with don't jinx it, Jeff, but it is gonna be something. It's gonna be a sight. It's gonna be a spectacle because these are two great sports entertainers and they're two great fighters.
Now here's the question: who does Roman face now at the Royal Rumble? Now that Drew is out with a neck injury or whatever.
That's okay. Now Brock said he's going to see Roman Friday. We don't know if Roman's completely gone through protocol yet,
right?
And we don't know how much the COVID is going to affect what he's already carrying around as it is. Yes, it's in remission. Doesn't mean anything with COVID. COVID is a vicious animal. So, do we see him at the Rumble? Hopefully, I pray to God. I hope to God we see him Friday. I mean, really, but they need to come up with plans B, C, and D. Roman at the Rumble, I would put him with. And again, this is going to sound a little like whatever. I would give Sami Zayn a legitimate shot just to have somebody in that spot. Because Sammy got.
I'll tell you why. Do you know what I would rather have? Because Sammy got the shot at Shinsuke. So what I would do is I would give Sammy the Intercontinental title and let Shinsuke get a shot at Roman and do that at the Rumble instead.
Okay.
I'd be okay with that too. Yeah.
Give Sammy the Intercontinental title. If not Friday, give it to him next week, sometime before the Rumble, and have the Bloodline cost Shinsuke the title or something, and then give Shinsuke the shot. Because you figure Shinsuke kind of got screwed out of the shot in the gauntlet last year.
Right.
Because Adam Pearce won that match.
Oh, gee, yeah.
It's in the record books.
You and I, Greg, I think more so than anybody, I really wanted that match to happen.
I wanted that match to happen too.
I
was all hyped for Adam Pearce and Roman Reigns. But don't get me wrong. The Owens match was fantastic until the finish.
Except for the finish. Right.
Yeah, the finish of it was a disaster.
What was really funny is when Waltman put that post up about, who should I face? Adam posted and said, good luck, brother. Freaking Trevor Murdoch came on and goes, well, Adam, if you're working people, I'll go ahead and I'm like, can you imagine Trevor Murdoch against Adam Pearce right now? That would be one of the greatest things ever, just for the NWA dorks like me. Like, seriously, that'd be great. But yeah, I think Adam has it in him to go. He just doesn't have a desire. He doesn't want to. He feels he doesn't need to, and he doesn't.
Yeah,
right.
But if
maybe Sonya's going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah, that's a very good point too. Naomi, I'm sure Naomi will declare Friday because 45 people declared on Monday for the men's side, so whatever. I think if Adam ever got the itch, he might scratch it, which would be cool. But yeah, Sonya definitely needs to be in the Rumble because I think her authority figure thing is like, okay, we're good. Can we? Yeah,
right.
And that needs to be a Mania match payoff. Her and Naomi, that has to be a Mania thing,
right?
For my money, anyway. Roman and Goldberg at the Rumble, Chris. I if I could juju you put in the universe, I would. Stop that.
No, Goldberg needs to have his one-on-one match with Big E so we can get the big meaty men slapping meat. That's what we need to happen. Other than that, I don't care for another Goldberg match.
I think all of you are wrong for even wanting Goldberg back at all. Stop that. Stop it now. All of you are bad for no.
Who
There's the
would
question
you
we had
guys
earlier.
say is
Yes.
the- yeah, we brought this up before the show, but Big G, I want to ask you too. Who did you guys say is this year's NFL MVP? I said Tom Brady, just because they'll probably give it to Tom Brady.
Right.
Um,
it
I
is
would
Tom Brady.
say Aaron Rodgers.
Well, it's funny. I said Aaron off the air with Greg, and Aaron's been so disliked by so many people. I don't know if the NFL will do it to him or give it to him.
I don't know who else I would think of. I mean,
How about the Dallas Cowboys fan base for staying the course and actually having a winning season for once?
there you go.
Hey, Tomlin has had 15 seasons without losing one,
This is true.
which is
There
an
you go.
NFL record. So go Tomlin.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
What do you think? Well, they haven't announced Coach of the Year, or
no, it's
No,
gotta
that-
be. It's gotta be. Name is not happening because I can't think of who's the hell coaching Dallas right now. Anyway,
they're talking. There's been a lot of talk about Harbaugh coming back and being the coach of the Giants.
screw them both brothers. All right, for real. Seriously.
Remember Chris,
that
we are getting to
debacle?
this question. We are going to talk about it.
Yes.
For
Briefly.
Dynamite tonight, since it's happening in a couple minutes. I don't know if the match is, but Dynamite is. Pick for Hangman Page and Bryan Danielson, real quick, Jeff. Big
Brian, please. Oh, sorry.
I said Page last night, but I'm gonna go with Danielson.
We've converted you. One of us.
I feel like there's going to be something screwy happen, so I'm going to say Danielson.
We need to see full blown Unleashed American Dragon just kick the. He's gonna get his mother effing neck kicked in. Please, please. Because
Trivia question for the Q&A. What was The Undertaker's last match on SmackDown? Was the sixth man on SmackDown, or was his match with Ambrose on SmackDown?
I know the sixth man was on SmackDown. The Shield versus him, Kane, and
Brian.
But I could swear he wrestled on SmackDown after that.
I could have sworn he wrestled Ambrose one-on-one.
He might have.
I don't remember if that was before or after.
But that means he hasn't had a SmackDown match since 2013, which also doesn't sound right in my head right now.
No.
It very well may be, though, because you figure after the Brock match, he only showed up for Mania.
Yeah.
And then when he was feuding with Brock in 2015, he was on
That was a
Raw.
Raw feud. That was a Raw feud.
So-
Yeah. He wrestled on SmackDown during the feud with Shane. No, because Shane wasn't commissioner of SmackDown yet.
Well, he wasn't
Yeah,
commissioner of SmackDown, but I don't think
It
Taker
was
until the tag match.
it was Ambrose versus Undertaker.
Was it Ambrose?
Yes.
Okay, Greg had it right.
I thought so. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
Yep.
Well, it is 8:00, everybody.
You
We
know what that
hope
means.
that you enjoy Dynamite tonight. Thank you to both Jeffs for joining on the
All
show.
three Jeffs.
Yes. There you go.
I kill you. Oh, sorry.
Also, thank you, Ben Roethlisberger, for 18 years
yes.
in Pittsburgh. Appreciate you. I was right. It was Ambrose. Thanks, Brett.
I could swear there was a 6-man on SmackDown, though, but again, my brain's 10 years removed. Okay, she's talking again, so it's time for me to go, clearly.
Well, real quick, this guy donated one more time and says he's going to be on NoDQ video for the first time on a panel this month.
Nice.
Do you have any advice? And also, how would you write a returning heel, Drew McIntyre? Advice to you: plug my shit. And then, I don't think
Honestly,
there's going to be a heel for a while, so
No.
that's a couple years down the road. I wouldn't even worry.
Agreed. But as far as no DQ, just remember it's
Be
your first
yourself.
show. Be yourself is definitely key. And just when in doubt, defer to Virtue and Aaron because they're the guys that are going to lead the course of the show.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yep.
Tomorrow's WTC match is the
Yes.
first match of the second round. It's Jordan Owens against the guy commenting, Brett Storm.
So I finally caught up on WTC. I was like 3 episodes behind, and holy crap, guys!
right? Told
Holy
you, G.
crap!
Yeah, that's how I feel about editing it. All right.
Jeez.
Go enjoy Dynamite. Go enjoy the probably 60-minute title match between Danielson and Page. And have a good night, everybody. It's the Greg Cherry Show, and we will see you next week right here on that very show. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.